Rachel and I were excited to go out to dinner together for Valentine's Day. We're going to go to a restaurant that we had heard quite a bit about and several of our friends had been to. And we realized that afternoon that we should probably call and see if we needed to make reservations. So I called and was very happy to find out that this restaurant doesn't even take reservations. So we were good to go. We finished our frequently asked questions sermon series yesterday with a message about salvation, specifically about whether or not we can lose our salvation. The more I think about it, the more I think that that way of looking at salvation is just not helpful. That's looking at the salvation that God offers to us like He writes our name in a reservation book, and so that the life that is offered to us is something that's on hold until we show up at the pearly gates or in heaven or whatever image you want to use. But I think what God's salvation for us is, that we see from the earliest days of the Scripture, but especially in and through Jesus, is not the kind of salvation that would have our name written in a reservation book, but the kind of salvation that has our name written in a book of life. And that means a life that starts now. That the moment you and I enter into this saving relationship with God through Jesus, we have begun the new life that God has promised. It's not a matter of waiting to see if we're on a list sometime. It's a matter of having that life here and now. If you live in anxiety about whether or not God will accept you after you die, please find and hear the good news this week that God has already done everything necessary to accept you and welcome you, and that God's welcoming starts now.